Stacy here, and I am back with another video. Today's video is going to be about my experience moving to a new state with no money, no job, no place to stay, all of that. And I'm going to share what I did, and hopefully you can get something out of it and it can help you if you're thinking about moving to a new state. All right, so let's get into it. So basically, just to do a quick overview of like my situation and everything, I moved to Phoenix, originally from Atlanta, so I moved to Phoenix. So I've been here 4 months now. Yes, 4 months, and I would say that I am fully transitioned into life here and getting settled and everything. So it only took about less than 4 months, so I'd say that's pretty good. What I would recommend is to definitely have a plan when you're moving and research where you're going. Obviously, if you're going to move to a new state, it's probably because you want maybe more opportunities or a better like lifestyle, more affordability, more interesting environment, or I don't know, whatever it is your reason for wanting to move. For me, it was definitely the weather, the opportunities, and just having a fresh start somewhere new. And then the proximity to other places that I like to visit, like, well, I've already lived in LA, but I like to visit LA because I still have friends there, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, all the different places that I want to visit that are around here. Yeah, so I moved here, and I wouldn't say I had no money, but I had very little money. So I probably had about $2,000 or less to my name when I got off the plane. And I would say that that's probably like the minimum I would recommend having. That definitely helped me to transition from, you know, moving before I started actually making some money and all that, to buy food and do different things that I needed to do. Depends on where you're moving though. If you're moving somewhere with a higher cost of living, you're going to have more in savings and reserve for that cushion for the move. But I knew that I was moving somewhere where I felt there would be a lot of job opportunities quickly, and that housing and everything would be more affordable, certainly than what I was used to in LA and Atlanta. So yeah. So what I did was I reserved an Airbnb that was more like a hostel. So the owner of the Airbnb rented out all the rooms and had bunk beds in all the rooms. So it was very affordable. I booked it for like 10 or 12 days so that I could get off the plane, take an Uber, because I didn't have a car either, take an Uber off the plane to the Airbnb and, you know, stay there and then hit the ground running looking for jobs and apartments. Ideally, you want to get a job first before you get an apartment, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way, especially if the apartment is going to require you to show that you have maybe 2.5 or 3 times the rent in income. You're not going to have that, at least not for a couple months, or at least a month or two. So for me, what I did was I came with the intention of either I would find a place after the 10 days because I had found a job or something and I could use my savings to kind of pay the rent and everything and the deposit, and then, you know, start working and rebuild, you know, my bank account, or I would just get an apartment and then keep looking for work and hope something comes through before my next rent check. So ultimately, what I ended up doing was I had someone co-sign for me for my apartment. I know not everyone can do that, but if you can, that is an option. You can have someone from out of state co-sign for you. You know, if they trust you and they know that you're going to be able to pay your rent. I knew that I had enough money to pay for a couple months even if I didn't get a job immediately. So that's how I felt comfortable doing that. But you have to think what would be good for your own personal situation. So that's what I did. Those first 10 days in the Airbnb, I went to several interviews. I didn't get everyone. And another thing I would say is you, like when you're moving somewhere new, just get like a bridge job. And what I mean by a bridge job is like any job, like either in real retail or working in a restaurant or working wherever. The first job that I got when I came here, I got a job working at Amazon in the warehouse, in one of the distribution warehouses. So just, you know, sorting boxes and everything. And they paid me $15 an hour. And it was a part-time job. So that was good. That was enough to help me to cover my rent and then use my savings for like food and everything while I kept looking for more work. And you can also like piece together multiple part-time jobs. I later then got another part-time job, which was more in my field. I'm in research. So I got like an entry-level job at a clinical research organization, and that paid $12 an hour. So it was even less than Amazon, but it helped me to at least have a job in the field that I wanted to get into on my resume in that state. So that's another thing I would say. Don't be afraid to get a bridge job or 2 or 3. Piece it together to make it work. You've got to start somewhere, and it won't be forever. And if you have a profession, even better. Like if you're a nurse or an EMT, or you have some kind of professional skill, I mean, you can probably get a job anywhere easily. But if you're someone like me, I do have a master's degree, but it's in public health, and it's so broad. So there's so many different ways I could use it. So that makes it a little bit harder. You kind of have to like tailor your resume for each job and kind of like, you know, finesse it a little bit and to see, you know, what opportunities are out there. So I knew that I kind of wanted to go into clinical research, which is a little bit of a shift from the public health research and behavioral science, more specifically behavioral science research that I had been doing in Atlanta. So yeah, so I hope I'm making sense and I'm not talking so fast. I think I'm excited about this topic because I'm so passionate about life changes. I love when people like step out on faith and go for it and go and do something exciting and different. But anyway, yes, get yourself a crash pad. Number 1, get yourself a crash pad that for cheap to live in while you get your bearings in that new place, whether that's somebody's couch. If you can't do that, like me, I couldn't do that, so I just got an Airbnb for cheap. Then just pound the pavement, get yourself a bridge job, work in a warehouse, work in a restaurant, work in retail, anywhere that's always hiring. Just get a job. You probably won't get enough hours to pay your bills, so get 2. And then don't forget to keep, you know, don't get comfortable working. Keep applying for what you want. Like, keep your long-term goals in mind. Keep that in sight, in your vision, so that you can be strategic about what kind of jobs you get. So maybe you get like a bridge job out of necessity, and then you also work part-time in an office, wherever like you kind of want to be, in that field that you want to be in. Okay, so that's what I did. And then within, you know, I worked at Amazon for probably about 3 weeks before I got the entry-level research position, and then I worked there for about 4 weeks before I got a full-time research position here in Scottsdale. So huge blessing, super excited, and from there, you know, I can move up the ladder if I want to do that. So that's where I am now. And from moving out of the Airbnb, I was able to get into an apartment with some roommates. My roommates are all college students at the nearby college. That's another thing that made me feel more comfortable for some reason than like living with complete randoms, because it was like, at least there's an organization that's holding them accountable, you know, like like college students can't just do whatever they want, because they could get kicked out of school if they did something crazy, you know. I don't know, but that was just my train of thought. Yeah, so that's where I am now. I have my own room, my own bathroom, and my own closet in a 5-bedroom townhouse, and there's only 4 of us living here, so 1 bedroom is vacant. So it's pretty comfortable for me, and it allows me to, you know, comfortably pay my rent and save and do all that now that I have a full-time job. And from here, you just keep hustling. Like, don't stop. Like, you know, add a side hustle. Get your, you know, we got goals, y'all. We've got goals for 2019. So this is just the beginning. I'm just finally now able to say, okay, I've got my basics down. So it's totally possible. So I just wanted to check my notes to make sure I got everything that I wanted to tell you guys. But basically that's my story, and the lessons are, don't be too proud to apply to all kinds of bridge jobs when you first get to the new place, and simultaneously apply to your career jobs too, because you never know what could happen. Like, you might not even have to work at a bridge job. You might just get right into your career field, you know, within a couple weeks. That'd be great. So definitely apply for both simultaneously. That's what I did. And I was getting some interview for more career jobs also. Some of those didn't work out, but eventually, you know, things picked up. Don't be afraid to job hop a little bit in the beginning. Just because you take a job and you're working there doesn't mean that in 2 or 3 weeks you can't leave. If it's a minimum wage part-time job, they already expect turnover, so don't feel guilty. You've got to take care of yourself. They're not going to be loyal to you, so you don't have to be loyal to them. Yeah, they know that those type of positions are there to help people get on their feet, and it's not meant to be forever. So don't feel bad about job hopping. And it does definitely help to get job history within that state. So maybe like when you're applying out of state, it's super hard to get interviews and stuff. I did get 1 interview from being out of state, and then I did a phone interview, but I didn't end up getting the job, but that's okay. Yeah, so if you can get job history, so I think that obviously that first clinical job, entry-level, low pay that I got for a few weeks before I got my now full-time job, I think that really helped, along with all my other like related experience, but that directly related experience within the state of Arizona definitely helped me to get my full-time job today. So yeah, definitely think long-term when you're applying for jobs and while you hustle. So keep both in mind. Keep the short term in mind and the long term in mind. Like right now you need money, but also you need to position yourself to get into your career. And then have money saved for transition expenses. Once I got my full-time job, I was able to use some of the money that I had saved from working to be able to get like a little car just to use to get to and from work. Before then, I had been using the bus and Ubers. I had to cut down on the Ubers because those were eating into my savings real quick. So I was using the bus. But yeah, eventually I was able to get a little car. Yeah, so you want to have money saved so that you can do things like that, like pay for your registration. If you're bringing your car, you're going to have to register it, and make sure you have money in case, you know, any repairs need to be done or anything like that. So I think that's all I have. So I'm so glad I did it. Yeah, I love my new job. I'm really excited for the opportunities to learn a lot and to grow and to expand my career and all of that. So yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. Let me know what your questions are, or your thoughts, or your opinions, or anything in the comments down below. I'll see you there and we can have a little discussion about this topic.